Sources tell CNN federal investigators are preparing to bring accusers of Sean Diddy Combs before a federal grand jury. This is seen as a clear sign the Department of Justice could be moving to indict the disgraced music mogul.
We are learning now that federal investigators are in possession of video footage that was taken inside of Combs's.
Jennifer Lopez has officially fled the country. Reports are coming in fast, and it all seems to be connected to Diddy.
Jennifer Lopez has officially fled the country.
Puffy Combs and Jennifer Lopez, probably one of the most glamorous couples just in history.
Sean Combs and his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez left the scene of the shooting. They were arrested a short time later when a handgun was recovered from their vehicle.
He has people followed, he has people watched, he does all kinds of, he's a piece of shit.
Jennifer, she's definitely a bad chick, but I was still in love with Kim, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't marry Jennifer, but I was still in love with Kim.
He will find me if he hasn't already.
Asterisk, CNN just dropped bombshell footage of Jennifer Lopez and Diddy, and the internet is asterisk on fire asterisk. Fans are losing it, and word is J-Lo is absolutely furious. Back in the day, they were Hollywood's golden couple, glamorous, successful, and unstoppable. But now, insiders are spilling tea, claiming their relationship wasn't as picture-perfect as it seemed. Rumor has it Diddy played puppet master, controlling J-Lo's career from behind the scenes. The drama is unfolding fast, and everyone's waiting to see how J-Lo responds. Stay tuned. This story is just getting started.
Who was around Diddy? Did you ever see him put his hands on Jennifer Lopez?
Well, he didn't do any violence to Mrs. J-Lo. That's why I didn't see any violence. It's a different breed, bruh. He wasn't gonna risk himself like that. And plus, a lot of people didn't like him. J-Lo mother didn't like him. Benny Medina didn't like him. If he would have ever touched Miss Lopez in any kind of aggressive way, she would have said something. Man, listen to me. The whole Bronx would have been on Puff. It's a different class. He knew that she was an actress, she was a singer. He did put her on a pedestal, but he still was seeing Kim. So I don't think that she had those experiences. People only do what you let them do. If he would have did that to her, he would only had one time. You see, when he ran out the club and left her after that shooting at China, she didn't want to be with him no more.
Once I got to know him and we became friends first, and then we developed this bond. We both understood where we were at that time in our lives, and we both knew nobody else understood exactly how we felt. So sitting there, being handcuffed to a bench, and I do remember feeling the comfort of someone caring about you enough that they just wanted to make it okay and couldn't believe that we were in this situation and how did this happen.
Always dressed to impress. MTV couldn't get enough of them. Remember TRL? Anywhere they went, paparazzi followed. This was a different time. Everyone wanted to know what they were going to wear. Puffy's white party, Loved Up, and everyone was like, OMG, they're so cute. Then December 1999, they go to a party in New York. There are pew-pews involved. They both get arrested. Later, J-Lo was off the hook. I vividly remember people were like, goodness gracious, poor J-Lo, she's with a bad boy, they should break up. But they didn't. They went to the Grammys together. She wore this Versace gown. Everyone lost their minds. They coordinated wearing matching white outfits at the MTV Video Music Awards. Then it came all crashing down. Valentine's Day 2001, they announced they broke up. 7 months later, she married Chris Judd. And then they divorced after 9 months. Diddy and Kim Porter reconciled, although maybe they were seeing each other in between, and who knows who else he was seeing.
Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs' romance wasn't just a celebrity headline. It became the center of national attention after a tragic nightclub shooting that left multiple victims dead or injured. The incident sparked intense legal battles and nonstop media scrutiny, pushing their relationship into the harsh glare of the public eye. For both stars, it marked one of the most challenging and heavily criticized chapters of their careers.
In the deliberations, the jury now appears to be focusing on the gun possession and bribery charges against Sean Puffy Combs. This afternoon, jurors sent the judge 2 notes. one of which asked for a transcript of a phone message Combs left Wardell Fenderson, once his driver, now the prosecution's star witness. The jurors also wanted to hear a readback of testimony relating to Combs' former girlfriend, actress-singer Jennifer Lopez, who was in the Navigator when it was stopped by police. An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As she was being detained, a gun was discovered in the vehicle. At that point, a sergeant on the scene ordered everyone who was in the vehicle under arrest.
This is someone who destroyed my life.
Former rapper Moses Shine Barrow is speaking out in the wake of Sean Diddy Combs' arrest and federal indictment. Once Diddy's bad boy protege, Moses served nearly a decade in prison for a 1999 nightclub shooting in New York, where 3 people were injured. Diddy attended a party at the club with his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez and had also been arrested and accused of being involved in the shooting. However, during his trial, he said he fired the gun in self-defense and was acquitted of all charges. J-Lo was also arrested at the scene and was held for about 14 hours but was released without being charged. Moses, who is now the leader of the opposition in the Belize House of Representatives, claims he took the fall for Diddy and is now reflecting on his incarceration, calling Diddy someone who, quote, destroyed my life. In a press conference, the politician details their past relationship.
When I was a 18-year-old kid, just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and do what all of us want to do, be recognized for our talent and take over the world. I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. So that is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave. Let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life.
Moses, however, admits that in recent years he only reunited with the bad boy mogul for investment purposes.
And for the better interest of Belize, because he was in a position at that time to give scholarships and to maybe invest, I would not deny attempting to bring the investment to Belize and to bring the contributions to education to Belize, but don't distort it as if, he and I were bombali. This is someone that destroyed my life.
E! News has reached out to Diddy's lawyer for comment about Shine's accusations, but hasn't heard back. The former rapper's comments come after Diddy was arrested on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all the charges, with a judge denying bail ahead of his trial.
Diddy and J-Lo were at a nightclub called Hot Chocolate in Midtown's Club, New York, back in December 1999. They were actually celebrating the release of a rapper's new album. This rapper in particular was signed to Diddy, so it was one of his mentees. I mean, he was making some money off this album, so they were there to show face. But as J-Lo and Diddy were walking out of the club at 2:20 in the morning, I guess Diddy had a champagne bottle and he knocked someone's drink out of their hand. This person is known as Matthew Allen, also known as Scar on the streets. It ended up escalating to an argument between these two men, and I guess they were flexing on whoever had more money, something stupid that led to them shooting out each other. Actually, 3 people in the club were injured and 1 woman was shot in the face. Ouch.
But on December 27th, 1999, the high-profile couple drew some unwanted attention. Around 11 p.m., Sean and Jennifer headed out to Club New York in Manhattan for a night of partying. Their entourage included newly signed rapper Jamal Shine Barrow and Puffy's bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones. According to court documents, Combs traded insults inside the club with a man named Scar. The man allegedly threw money in Puffy's face. Suddenly, a fight broke out and gunshots were fired.
News reached out to Diddy's lawyer for a response to Shin's accusations, but has yet to receive a comment.
Diddy, who shot you? I think you even said it to the doctor that night, right?
I said it immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account. By the grace of God, I survived.
Yeah, and this was also a different time. I mean, things were very, very different in 1999. I mean, did you sense right from the beginning that no one believed you?
Well, I don't think that was on my mind. I think first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 3. At the time, I was a mother of 2. And just surviving and getting home to my children was of the utmost importance to me. Being whole and being able to mother them. That was, primary on my list. I didn't have any reason to believe that to think that someone would not believe me. But as things unfolded, it was a very short period of time where I realized that's what in fact was happening.
So, as I mentioned, Diddy has denied being the one who pulled the trigger. But this is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible. A lot of people were afraid for their safety, justifiably so. I mean, the history that has occurred in the last 25 years proves that they were justified in being afraid. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid because I still bear I have 9 bullet fragments remaining in my face. So when I saw that count 128, that's actually count 128 of the lawsuit. When I saw that on a podcast that was analyzing all of the counts, I knew I had to speak. I had no intention of going viral. I was just getting it out of me. I have a mantra, having my say. There was a time a few years ago where I had a talk radio show called Having My Say. And that's very important to me. I believe everyone is entitled to have their say. Far too often we don't hear people or listen. And so I just wanted to get it out of me because it was like an audible, deep breath that I needed to take. And I made the TikTok video not expecting it to go viral. Went to pick up my daughter, came back home, and she's like, and I literally told her, I'm like, well, you're probably going to see it tomorrow. I made a video on TikTok. Maybe 100 people will see it. By the time we got home, she said, Mommy, it was 70,000 people. And I could not believe it. But it was time. It was time for me to speak. I'd stayed quiet for 25 years. It was my time to speak.
We know what happened, and we hope, that it all turns out the way it's supposed to.
You had to be disturbed by a report in the New York paper yesterday.
Yeah.
It said an eyewitness along 8th Avenue as your car drove by saw a female hand throwing a gun out of the car.
Ridiculous. I don't even
You're the
want to
only female in the car. You don't want to talk about
Ridiculous.
it? You very confident that Puffy will be found innocent in this trial?
Yes, I will.
You're going to testify?
If they need me.
But you haven't been asked
I
yet.
haven't been asked since.
It's a difficult...
You getting shot at that club be reopened?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The irony is there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened. My shooting, ironically, the night I went into the club, I had a comb in my pocketbook called a rat tail comb. People in the beauty industry or people that use that type of comb would be all too familiar. It's just a comb. It can't do anything to harm anyone. And I had the very security officer who lied during the trial, Sharice I forget her last name, but she literally took it from me and kind of pushed me like, you can't take this in. This is a weapon. To let other people in with guns. If someone had combed me 24 years ago, I'd be fine. You wouldn't even know my name. But having been shot by someone that was allowed to come into the gun when I couldn't bring in a comb, I would absolutely unequivocally like the case reopened. It needs to be reopened. And the saddest part for me is, had people taken what I said more seriously and listened more intently, 24 years worth of people probably would not have had to suffer.
These claims come on the heels of Diddy's recent arrest on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and facilitating prostitution. While Diddy has pleaded not guilty, the judge denied him bail, leaving him to await trial behind bars.
Is Mr. Suge Knight. In his Collect Call series, he spoke about the fact that he believes Ben Affleck divorced J-Lo. The reason this all happened so quickly was because the FBI gave Affleck tapes of J-Lo from after the Diddy raids. Now, from a timeline perspective, it's not that far off. It's possible. However, obviously, we have no proof of this. This is a theory. Let's listen to what Suge Knight says, and then we're going to give you an update on things, and I'm going to tell you why I actually am humoring this theory, because it could be possible. Here's Suge Knight.
They go raid Puffy's house, and they get all these videos of J-Lo doing this and J-Lo doing that. And they know the fact that J-Lo lied and said that the gun was Sean's or whatever, and took that man to prison and restored his life, and she knew it was tough. I'm quite sure they probably called that the FBI gave respect, a courtesy call of Ben Affleck. It's a white man who got in the white world.
He's a white man who's got respect in a white world. Would the FBI really call and risk all this? Maybe to get J-Lo to sweat. Honestly, it's possible.
So they said, we want to show you some things. It's about your wife. When he sees that her and Puffy was doing and who they were doing it with, I'm quite sure they gave his ass those tapes. And I'm quite sure he can never look at her the same. I'm quite sure they heading for a divorce. Because, you know, that's a man who had a good life. Great parents, don't spend a lot of money, ain't tripping out paparazzi. He's living his life. He got his own team. She done brought all the extra that motherfucker. He won't out. He stayed married to J-Lo, he'd be broke. Instead of just doing movies, he'd be doing Yum Yum Donuts commercials. Next thing he'd be doing these Jack in the Box commercials.
It's possible. Look, it's from Suge Knight. He's bitter. Obviously, he's out there in prison, but the man does have some knowledge, and I can't completely negate this theory. It's a long shot, but the timing also makes sense. The FBI has been working in mysterious ways regarding this Diddy.
All about it. Let me just bring you up to speed really quick, though, right? You don't have to watch the whole video if you want details. They're saying that J-Lo was secretly married to Diddy, and J-Lo even admitted that in the interview where she said, this is all the way back in the day, that I think it was a 2001 interview when she was saying Diddy was demanding divorce.
In a jaw-dropping revelation, Natalia Ruin, a victim of the infamous nightclub shooting, has broken her decades-long silence. Speaking out after 25 years, she called the incident not just a tragedy, but a massive cover-up. Ruin is now demanding the case be reopened, alleging that Jennifer Lopez lied during the trial to protect her then-boyfriend Diddy.
Interested in your thoughts. What do you make about J-Lo staying so quiet about this? Of course, she hasn't been with Sean Combs for many, many years, but she is his most high-profile, most well-known romantic interest. And she was with him the night that this woman, who claims she was 13, she claims that she was assaulted by Sean Combs at this after party.
And Jeanette, J-Lo wants nothing to do with Diddy. People normally don't want to have anything to do with their ex, but especially here. I mean, obviously they broke up more than 20 years ago, but both in terms of the courtroom, potentially being named in a civil lawsuit or being a witness in his criminal trial is the last thing she wants to do, especially when she's campaigning right now for the vice president and trying to get her elected.
Yeah, she certainly has been out there on the campaign trail for Kamala Harris. We saw her last week. She actually got tearful when she was up there on stage campaigning. But we see that clip of her. She's signing autographs somewhere, and somebody says, "Do you have a comment on the whole Diddy thing?" And she just kind of walks off. She's like, "I'm over this." And you can see it in her face. She wants nothing to do with it. But should she possibly say something? I mean, she was with him back when this whole nightclub shooting happened. I mean, she was with him for a time, almost 2 years or so, maybe a little longer than that. I mean, she may have seen some stuff. We just don't know.
She may very well be a witness, and there's a possibility, if you believe the allegations, that she witnessed of a 13-year-old girl. So the question is, what is she going to do? And I'm going to tell you what her legal and PR team is telling her, which is keep your mouth shut. Do not address it at all. No one wants anything to do with Diddy and his legal problems. This isn't a Michael Jackson situation where people are going to come out in defense of Diddy. No one is doing that. I mean, essentially, he's been convicted in the court of public opinion. And I think J-Lo, given her previous romantic relationship, and of course, she was involved in his previous criminal case, that nightclub shooting in New York. Obviously, that resulted in an acquittal. But I think given where she is in her personal and professional life, she's staying as far away from this as she possibly can.
It does feel that way, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure if you go to Diddy's house, it probably feels real weird. Probably feels weird walking around that house. Probably like, what happened here?
Yeah.
I bet there's some memories in that house.
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously, it's like insane.
Publicly, openly, all in.
Yes, it's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, guys, open up the project. Guys, don't lean on the mat. Don't lean. She'll sign. Don't lean. She'll sign. Don't lean. You guys get under control. She'll stop.
Do you have any comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Go back and look. Don't lean. Don't lean. She'll sign. Don't lean. You guys should sign.
I saw a guy on the internet the other day. He said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
But this show has gotten crazier since the last time
No, it's all about love, though. That's not true.
You really heard that?
Well, yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends.
What a whirlwind. If Diddy's case reopens, it could shake Hollywood to its core, unearthing secrets long buried. Meanwhile, Jennifer Lopez's love life has always been a headline magnet. After splitting from Diddy, her engagement to Ben Affleck in 2002 had fans obsessed with that iconic pink diamond, convinced they were destined to last. But fame's relentless spotlight tore them apart.